So right now, I'd like to introduce you to the pastor and head of staff at Grace Covenant Presbyterian Church in Asheville. She joins us today to discuss the Grace in Action Fund, which is a vital housing initiative, assistance initiative launched in response to Hurricane Helene. This is the beneficiary of the Asheville Business Summit. So I told everybody last night we're a for-profit organization, but not this year, because we're going to give it all, whatever we have left, to the Grace in Action Fund. So I'm pleased to announce and welcome Marcia Mount Shute.
Thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to tell you more about the Grace in Action Fund, and also the opportunity to come together and in partnership to help keep our neighbors housed. So natural disasters like Hurricane Helene are always powerful truth tellers. They unveil things about our lived situation and our social arrangements that sometimes are hard for us to see, or sometimes that we don't really want to see if we're not impacted. As we all know, we're coming up on the year of Hurricane Helene hitting Western North Carolina on September 27th. That was almost the end of a month. So pretty soon after the storm hit, the calendar shifted to October, and a new month of rent was due. For all the hardworking people in our service economy, our hospitality workers, they knew before the storm that when you're a renter in America, you have to pay your rent on time. The rent is due on the 1st of the month. Then it's late on the 5th. Then on the 6th, you get a 10-day notice. The clock is ticking. If you don't pay your rent, eviction proceedings will begin. The eviction process is costly in a lot of ways. It costs tenants late fees, legal fees, and it can often go on their permanent record and be a real challenge for future renting. But evictions also cost property owners as well. Eviction proceedings often do not result in recuperation of the cost. And evictions cost business owners. Many of you probably know this firsthand, that if you lose valued members of your workforce, you then have to foot the bill for finding and training replacement workers. So this stressful rental cycle was true before the storm. For anyone who might hit a hard stretch in life, like they had car repairs that they didn't expect, or a child got sick, or maybe they got sick and missed several days of work. And then this unplanned financial burden just begins this cascade of personal disasters that can result in families losing their housing. When Hurricane Helene hit, this terrifying prospect of being unhoused now became true for thousands of our neighbors. And not many of us could miss days or weeks or even months of wages and still be able to pay our rent, our mortgage, or other necessities that are part of our living expenses. So on September 29th, 2 days after the storm, Grace Covenant opened our doors. And we told everyone that came through our doors that we're just going to do our best to come alongside you in whatever challenges that you're facing. At the same time, as God's economy would have it, several and many large-scale donations started coming in the door. At the 6-month mark after the storm, Grace Covenant had done $6 million in rent support. We're so grateful for all the donations, grants from organizations like the United Way, Dogwood Health Trust, the City of Asheville, and Buncombe County. Almost a year in, we're now over $7 million in our aid efforts. And we, with our partners, have helped to keep thousands of families housed in Western North Carolina. So now we're in this new stage together of building the long-term recovery architecture. Rent support is a key to stabilizing our community. This month alone, in September, we've stopped over 30 evictions that were already in the courts. We've also assisted 60 other people who were headed for the court system within the next few days. With funds from the Buncombe County Long-Term Recovery Group and the Grace in Action Fund, we've been able to meet this scale of need that still exists. If I add up the total for all the folks that we have assisted this month with those two buckets of funds, we're now over $175,000 just for September. Most of those needing rent support in our community are storm-impacted service economy workers, still struggling to find full-time hours for work. We know that our community is still picking up the pieces. Workers are ready to work full-time, and many businesses are just not able to do that. Rebuilding takes time, and it takes strong, persistent, trustworthy relationships. And in order to meet this moment, we've got to come together. All those donations from around the world have slowed down, but we know more than ever that everyone deserves a place to feel safe and to rest from their labors. Everyone deserves a sense of community that comes around them when times get hard. These are values we share as human beings, no matter our context. And so we're grateful that the Land of the Sky Association of Realtors reached out and invited a partnership between them and Grace Covenant to start the Grace in Action Fund. We know together that if we can bring the larger community into this work, if we pool our resources, we can help our neighbors who work so hard to make this community welcoming, clean, and an enjoyable place to live and to visit, to feel safe and secure at home. So thank you so much for the ways that you're coming alongside us to keep our neighbors housed in Western North Carolina. Thank you.